Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls and children of all ages, welcome to Art from the Heart. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls and children of all ages, welcome to Art from the Heart. I'm John Morris, Scottish artist, author and friendly mental health mentor, and for the past 2 decades I've navigated the creative world, embracing its highs, enduring its lows and learning everything in between. As an artist, I've served clients from across the globe, creating both heartfelt custom-made memories on canvas and inspirational Art from the Heart original paintings. As an author, I write world-immersive historical fiction and life-changing self-help and spiritual non-fiction. Did I also mention I was a musician? Well, this is my channel, an opportunity for me to share with you all the tales, tips and tricks I've learned about not only surviving but thriving within the creative industry. So pack a bag, get ready for a hike, or put the kettle on and join me for a cuppa. But this is Art from the Heart, and I'm absolutely delighted you're here. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls and children of all ages, thank you so much for being here with us today on this impromptu Tuesday afternoon Art from the Heart show. Gosh, it has been a while, hasn't it? A lot of you have actually been commenting and DMing, asking where I've been and what's been happening. There's a lot to cover in this, and I'm going to do my best to get to it today. We're going to have a little bit of fun. You'll notice also there is no green screen today. This is strictly just you and me, and very informal, very, very relaxed. I'm actually in my office at the moment. So the first things first, many of you will know, and many of you are asking, well, where have you been, basically? So several weeks ago, I had, for those of you that don't know, I was diagnosed with colitis when I was 15 years old, ulcerative colitis. And every now and then I need to go in for an MOT. So I was scheduled to go in for a flexicam sigmoidoscopy back at the beginning of April. And it's basically to go around this sort of part of your stomach here. And I was given sedation. And do you ever have those times where you sit there and you think to yourself, and kind of irrationally, you're thinking, I don't know if I'm going to wake up from this. There was that kind of feeling that was in my head for whatever reason, because, there was a number of things that hadn't gone to plan. That the nurse putting the cannula in had basically leaked my arm on the floor red with my own crimson. And, and then you just laid there for a couple of hours and you sort of thinking to yourself, could something happen? And I don't normally think those things. It's very, very rare that I ever have those thoughts and that mindset. But on this particular day, I was. And anyway, the girls came and got me about 10 o'clock, and they're wheeling me through. They're encouraging me with the friendly hand on the shoulder. I'm like, oh, you'll be fine. It's no bother. And Dr. Gillen comes through. I shake his hand, and all is right with the world. The sedative was a very bizarre one, because I don't know for certain whether or not I was completely knocked out. And the reason that I don't know if I was completely knocked out is because several times I woke up, and I woke up screaming in pain. Now, even though I don't have active inflammation at this point in time, it was a period of time where there was heightened sort of, stress levels, and there was heightened, probably worries as well, I think, that was there. So my stomach lining was naturally inflamed. From there, I ended up waking up, as I said, several times, and Dr. Gillen had, that I know of, had taken 8 sizable lesions from my stomach. So there was one over this side, one over this side. You won't be able to see it, but it's further on down, and then towards the colon. Now, of course, you're getting checked for cancers, you're getting checked for colitis, you're getting checked for flare-ups, you're getting checked for a lot of different things. But when I was half goofy and laid there sort of, like, what the heck's going on? And they tell you, you've got an hour to come out the sedative. And it was, it was, in terms of the procedure, it went as fine and as well as it possibly could have done. We're going to get to the aftermath momentarily, if that's okay. But I'm sort of there, and I didn't have my glasses on, so I'm trying to focus on the board, and I'm trying to look at what my notes say and everything else. And about 25 to 12, they come and they say, right, Mr. Morris, you can get up now. And of course, I'm still, doopy and loopy. And all you want to do is go to the toilet. And they tell you, you just need to pass gas. You just need to pass gas. And it's like, no, I need to pass more than that. But what actually was happening later on, which I'll touch on momentarily, was there was bleeding. And that can happen when you have an endoscopy or a flexicam sigmoidoscopy. So because I was doing so well, according to Dr. Gillen, they actually did a full stomach investigation. And so it's a full endoscopy. So sigmoidoscopy goes around to the sort of lower part of your intestine, around to the left-hand side, and it's done on a flexicam. You're in and out in 5 minutes. A full endoscopy is checking for absolutely everything that's there. And he's probably thinking, hey, we're already in. Let's investigate the whole thing. Might as well. We're already in here. Let's investigate the whole thing. So immediately after I've had the procedure, you're still kind of goofy, and normally they wait for Katie to come and get me, and then they give the download and everything. But this time they didn't. This time they literally said, right, we're going to give you the download now, and you're sort of looking like, hello, yes, sure, go ahead, why not? But the good thing was there is no cancer. The good thing is as well that after 15 years of having colitis and making a lot of shifts in my life, it's been downgraded to proctitis, which takes sort of residence. It's basically shifted and moved. It takes its residence in the lower part of the colon. And it's far easier to treat. So what it actually means is I don't need to be taking tablets. I can work with a very localized medication. And again, as a psychologist in training, which I don't know if I've told you guys before that I am, and also a student of medicine history and student of medicine, I look for all of that thing, and I know what to look for. I'm looking out for side effects and things because the medication I was on before was causing a lot of side effects. So all is good and right with the world. We could just end right there, couldn't we? Unfortunately not in some ways. There were some complications afterwards. There was nothing major, got to throw that out there. There was nothing major. I know a lot of people like to do these shows and create the drama and everything. And if we were filming a proper show, I possibly would, but I think it's important right now for people to know I'm okay. I'm well. I'm very, very well. I'm getting back to normalcy. But there's a lot of changes that's going on in my life, some of which, I'm happy to share. There's others that are strictly family and very, very close friends. And then there's just some that's Katie and I. So Katie and I got back home. My stomach was really painful, like really, really, really painful. And I wasn't sort of, compos mentis. I wasn't really, with it. And it's a natural reaction for your stomach to be very uncomfortable, but they do say, and again, I initially thought they were joking, well, you're going back to work later on today, or you're going out for dinner and you're going back to work tomorrow. The reality was that was on the Monday that I had the procedure done. By the Thursday, I was still laid on the sofa and a lot of times laid up in bed, and I couldn't straighten up. Now, bear in mind, this is Easter holidays. I couldn't straighten up. I couldn't stand straight. It was excruciating pain. And you're kind of thinking, what's going on here? What's happening? And Katie couldn't figure it. I couldn't figure it out. It ended up where we had separate Easter meals and things because we were scheduled to go over to in-laws. Of course, it's an in-law or it's a family day for Easter Sunday. That didn't happen for me. And again, I'm mostly laid on the sofa. But again, a couple of days later, I was all right. And it's a very bizarre thing because, like I said, there's a lot of things that are going on in Katie and my life right now. There's new business ventures. You've probably found me being a little bit quieter on social media, certainly on Facebook. We'll talk about them momentarily. So I'm laid there, I'm sort of contemplating, and I think for the first time, in a very long time, I basically just had to lay there and be still. I had to lay there and not move and, watch trashy TV, edit my books, and doing all these really cool things. Um, and there was a lot in my mind, this year, for those of you that don't know, and part of the celebration for this YouTube channel is 20 years since I began Art from the Heart. In fact, May 31st, if I got my dates right, May 31st, will be 20 years to the day since I began Art from the Heart. And it's a really interesting time because we've got a business venture that is developing from that whole origin, shall we say, and it's called Art Through the Ages, and it involves novels, it involves ton of products, ton of merch, clothing line, brand new podcast. There's a lot of stuff that's going to be coming very, very soon. I'm also delighted to announce that as of this morning, the world-renowned, I guess I can say this now, book editor Megan McKeever is officially contracted to be my book editor for this one. Now, she has helped contribute and edit works that have gone on to be New York Times bestsellers. She has gone on to do phenomenal things, and she's just a sweetheart of a person. And to have someone like her say, I love your voice, and I love, what you've sent me, that's a major thing. It means that we're on to something. And I'm going to talk about that in the coming weeks and months and things, because I don't want to try and cram everything in today, because I'm still trying to process all this myself. It's been a long time since I've done these videos and been on air or anything like that. So if I'm a little bit jittery, a little bit all over the place, forgive me. But it's the takeaways from all of this is I'm good, I'm healthy, I'm very healthy, and for the first time, when you're processing all of things in myself, I'm very, very happy. I'm very, very happy. One of the strangest things, and I know this is streaming into the ulcerative colitis channel as well. By the way, I should say, if anybody has questions, please feel free to ask away with regards to colitis, with regards to me, comments, things like that. Please do feel free, and if they're, polite and respectful and beneficial, then we'll certainly get to them. But one of the things that I'm having to get used to now, and I know a lot of people that have long-term illness and ulcerative colitis, is you have to get used to being well, because for so long, you've been working towards being well, and now all of a sudden to be told, look, you got proctitis, but nothing else inside you is inflamed, you look good, you're healthy, your weight's managing, your health, your mental health is strong, there's so many great things that are there. It's a really strange one. And when Katie was away for Easter Sunday, I feel like we should zoom in for this. That's what they normally do, isn't it? But when Katie was away on Easter Sunday, there was a part of me that just sat there, and I had the green piece of paper in front of me that showed where they'd taken the 8 biopsies from, and I actually cried. I wept like a baby, because after 20, what was I was 15 when I was diagnosed. So you do the math. To be told now, you're well. You've still got colitis, you've still got proctitis, and and all of that. Don't get me wrong, it's still trying to eat you, but you're well. It really gave me a new lease on life, to the point that there's companies now that I'm in discussion with, about doing business together, both in the United Kingdom and the United States. There are a lot of business ventures that we're going for and we're going forward with. And it is a major celebration. I should also say, Katie and I celebrated our 10-year anniversary in April as well. I know we didn't really talk about that a whole lot on online, because I was getting ready for a variety of other things. But also, it was my 37th birthday the day before. So, to be 37, to have, gone through colitis and a number of the things that we've talked about on the YouTube channel, that is absolutely incredible. I mean, it really, really is. And I've wrestled with so much privately over the last 18 months. There's been a lot that you wonderful guys and girls, I would not even burden with, because that isn't my role. You don't come here to be burdened with my problems. You come here for a good time. You come here to forget. You come here to see some artwork. You come here to see, and to have, all these amazing things. And, I never want to disappoint with that. So the takeaways from all of this, Katie and I have been married 10 years, over 10 years now. I'm happy. I'm healthy. There are a lot of really great changes and a lot of really great things happening. I've got an official editor now who's a New York Times, best-selling editor and things for my novel series. And ultimately, I'm well. And Art from the Heart has always been something very, very special to me. And I was thinking about this the other day as well as thinking about everything else. But Art from the Heart has always been very, very special to me, and to millions of people around the world. The last time that I saw it, our reach was over 2 million people, which still blows my mind, because I remember when Facebook began, and I started out there, and it was like Lisa and Liz. I forget their second name, but I remember all of that and just being like, "Oh my goodness, wow, this is incredible!" And they were my first, sort of customers and things, but. It's amazing to see how this has developed, and all the skills that I've been learning and all the skills that I've learned over the past 20 years are leading into Art Through the Ages. You are going to love this. If you are a fan of historical fiction, of time travel, of Back to the Future, of Assassin's Creed, of Goodnight Sweetheart, and on and on and on, you are going to absolutely love Art Through the Ages, and it's going to be a blast. Hopefully we're going to have agent acquirement very, very, very soon. If we don't, it won't be through lack of trying, that's for sure. But I'm very confident that we will. As I say, I've got one of the best editors in the entire world that is representing my book, and is going to be editing my first book. And this is going to be something really exciting. I'm really excited about this, and I have been for a very, very long time. So. I think that's it, folks. There's probably other stuff in there. University is going well. I've just submitted my second to last paper, which, funny enough, was all about what is creativity. And this final assignment that I've got due at the end of May is 3,000 words. So I'm going to be probably quiet again, which is why I'm focusing on things on YouTube and building things up on YouTube. If you would like to support the work that we're doing all over YouTube, but also in the world of psychology, mental health, and all the things that we're advocating for, you can. We're going to set up a GoFundMe page or Patreon. We're certainly going to look one or the other. And there's going to be so much really awesome stuff as I enter into this second phase in my life. I don't know how we're going to celebrate Art from the Heart being 20. It was really touch and go for a while whether or not I would even be on here to be able to talk about this, but I'm very glad that I am. And for all the folks that are going to see this, thank you so much for your support for all of these years. I think that's it. And I'm close to my time anyway. So if you guys have got any questions, do feel free to fire them in the comments section, whether it's colitis, whether it's Art Through the Ages, Art from the Heart, whatever. I know this is still a very young channel. And as always, if you're watching this, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because that really helps our channel monumentally. But thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate you. And I'm looking forward to getting back to things and creating some phenomenal new memories, sharing with you some wonderful old ones, and doing all this together. Thanks very much, my friends. Take care. God bless. And we will see you in the next episode of Art from the Heart. Take care.